Alright guys, this is a video for my campaign for, State Senate District 11. I know I haven't had a video in a while. I've just been very busy, mainly focusing on writing down policy ideas. I've been doing a lot of research. I've basically just been kind of just hitting the books, trying to study all this stuff because, my main concern right now is when I get into the legislature, what am I going to pass? What policies am I going to offer? Things like that. So we have come up with a few good policies. I know I talked about the tax plan before. I have a three-pronged healthcare plan right now. As you can see, sorry, I'm a little bit dressed down because I've just been sitting at home all day researching policy stuff like that. But the healthcare plan basically, there's a lot of different things we could offer, but my main concern is that we have too much government involvement and stuff. So, we kind of got to balance having, the government step in to make sure everybody has health insurance and, everybody is insured for whatever healthcare need they may have. But then when you do that, you have to give up some freedom to the government. So basically what we came up with so far, there's just like a draft healthcare plan, is the three-prong approach. So for the first thing, it's something that I've been talking about for a while actually. It's what Iowa did. It's called health benefit plans. And basically it's kind of like just like a trick to circumvent Obamacare's regulations. If you're not familiar with what Obamacare does, basically it requires that everybody who purchases health insurance has to buy health insurance for every possible healthcare need. So, guys have to buy maternity care. Everybody has to buy, drug rehab insurance, stuff like that. And so health benefit plans allow people to kind of just like circumvent Obamacare and just like pick and choose which services they want to buy health insurance for, and so that makes things cheaper. It also allows insurance companies to kind of do stuff with pre-existing conditions, but we will handle that. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Second prong is what a lot of people talk about often at the federal level, using the power of Medicaid to negotiate with drug companies for lower drug prices. So basically, we have the Medicaid system that we expanded under Obamacare. So more people qualify. Basically, so we go to the drug companies and say, hey, this price is kind of ridiculous. You can make this drug for this amount of money, and you're charging this much money. So basically, we're not paying for that. And so we lower the prices, and then we give people cheaper drugs because of that. Okay, and third prong, getting back to pre-existing conditions. So this is how we cover, pre-existing conditions, people with expensive healthcare needs, cancer, things like that. It's something called government reinsurance programs. So basically, an insurance company, their purpose is to, insure people in case they have a healthcare situation. And then, once they need help, the insurance company pays for whatever health needs they have. But, some people, if you get cancer or something like that, they might have really expensive condition. They're very expensive to insure. And so a lot of insurance companies do not want to insure those people. And so what we do with that is, government reinsurance programs. It's where the government will say, hey, we know this guy costs a lot of money to insure. And so how about this? If you insure this person, we'll watch your back, and then if they become too costly and then you end up, having too many expenses, etc., or you can't pay your bills, etc., and then you have a problem, then we will step in, the government, and we will take care of you. We will bail the insurance company out. Unfortunately, I hate to use that language, but that's essentially what it is. And we'll make sure that the insurance company is okay. And so that convinces the insurance company to cover, folks who might have, more expensive condition, whether it's cancer, whether somebody has, mental health condition, things like that. So basically, excuse me, that's what we've come up with over the past few days. Been working on researching healthcare. Basically, there are a lot of options that we could consider, but it all boils down to, if you want this, benefit from healthcare, you have to give up this right to the government. So it's a balance, and we're working on it. All right. Let's see what's next. We've been talking about a lot on the campaign trail. I've talked to a lot of people. I'm surprised, just like everybody is telling me that these guidebooks, which I'm very familiar with, the stuff the Board of Education sends down to our schools, public schools, the ELA guidebooks, which basically, there will be a class novel that you have to study, and the guidebook, it gives a day-to-day assignment for kids. It tells the students, all right, do this assignment this day. It kind of like micromanages the novel study for teachers. So teachers basically have no lesson planning to do with guidebooks. We've been hearing about that in Eureka Math, which is apparently a math program that's kind of similar to the guidebooks in that it basically micromanages the way kids learn math and takes power away from the teachers to plan. It kind of centralizes the lesson planning with the state. And so, yeah, everybody's complaining about these guidebooks and Eureka Math. And so we gotta get rid of all that. If I don't win the Senate race, I do plan on becoming a teacher myself in English. Grade 6 through 12 is my area, and there's no way I'm using those guidebooks. If I was a teacher and I get these guidebooks, they say, look, the state says this is how you have to cover this stuff. Do it this way. These are your lesson plans. I'm going to say no, and I'll do my own thing. And if somebody wants to fire me because of that, go right ahead. We'll take it to court, and I think I'll win. But yeah, so one way or another, I will be dealing with that in January. But at the legislative level, what we can do with that is we can try to pass legislation basically saying, the Board of Education, these are their parameters, this is what they can do, and then everything else has to be, handled by the local school board, curriculum, all that. So yeah, we're going to basically, at the legislative level, we will basically majorly cut back what the Board of Education is allowed to do, and give power back to the local school boards, teachers, parents. They should be the ones kind of, working together to figure out a curriculum. We shouldn't have the government basically at the, state level centralizing education. That's what this comes down to. So yeah, I'm very vehemently opposed to guidebooks and Eureka Math. Let's see, other issues we've been talking about lately. Those are the main issues I've been hearing from people about. Everybody's just really concerned about education. We got higher ed funding that everybody's concerned about. A lot of people are basically telling me, I went to college. This is young people. I think college has become a lot different than how it was when, my grandparents went to college. But a lot of people who were younger have come back from college. My friends, they say, I went to college, I spent all this money, paid tuition, to get this degree, I spent 4 years, I slept up there, did all this stuff, got very involved, it's basically, you give them your life for 4 years. I have student loan debt, and then they have a degree, and then they can't find a job because the degree is it's kind of worthless because everybody has a degree. And so it's kind of a problem. We need to make hiring people not based on degrees. We need to really focus more when we're hiring people on, what credentials they have, what can they offer to this, business. So we do want to basically kind of divert some funding from higher education and, give that to, grades K through 12, because that's when kids are actually learning, important stuff, kindergarten, learning numbers, things like that. That's way more important than college. So my plan will divert a lot of funding from higher education to primary school. So that's a pretty big deal. Let's see, what else is there? We have the lobbying ban that I've been talking about. That's basically something everybody can agree on. Republicans, Democrats, everybody, they really like that idea. Basically, I really essentially want to end all lobbying, to be honest, but the very first step that we're proposing is just a simple bill that says anybody who has worked in the state government, whether it's executive branch, legislature, etc., once you leave the government, you cannot become a lobbyist for life. So that would essentially, a lot of people with connections to folks in the government, that would kind of, kill their ability to lobby legislators to pass, certain legislation that doesn't really represent what people want. Basically, it's part of my, plan to kind of get rid of money in politics. That kind of goes with how the establishment really opposes this campaign, because essentially what we're trying to do is shake up the system. They endorsed one of the other guys in the race because they're worried that, an outsider is going to come in and, change things, and they don't want that to happen. And so hopefully, if we can just get people to spread the word, we don't have all the money on our side. Our campaign, we decided, was more important to spend time, talking to voters, things like that. Just studying issues, proposing, what we're going to do when we get in office, policy proposals, stuff like that. And then raising money, doing yard tons, all that. So we don't have a lot of money to do advertising, things like that. So basically, we're just counting on, word of mouth. We're counting on folks just hopefully, before they go to vote, just, Google my name and see my campaign and see that, I'm like about the people and vote for me. That's about it. Alright, I'll probably give another update, sometime this week. I don't do a lot of videos because, quite frankly, I'm not pretty. But, yeah, I want to talk about these issues, and I feel like doing videos will help me kind of directly speak to y'all. So, alright, thanks for watching this video.